What's up, Smarties? It's your girl Aggie, aka Nurse Aggz. Welcome back or to my channel if you're new here. I am in my final semester of nurse practitioner school, family nurse practitioner school. So excited to be done. So if you are interested in learning about the things I would have done differently in nurse practitioner school, also if you're interested in knowing the things that I'm happy I did, then please keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe. The first thing I would have done differently is work day shift versus night shift. I've been working night shift for my entire nursing career, which is 4 years. And at the beginning of my program, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. It wasn't until I started my clinicals after 1 year that things started getting a little bit more tricky. So working night shift, I work 7P to 7A, and we have a lot of clinical hours to get done in a semester. Each day counts. So when you work night shift, that last day that you work, you can't just wake up at 7 in the morning and then go into clinicals. No, you have to go home and sleep, right? At least I can't do that. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you got some type of witchcraft. But if I get off work after working a long 12-hour shift, I'm not going to someone's office to be seeing patients. Like, that's not safe. I won't learn anything. So my whole point is that that's a day lost. And it was really hard for me to create a clinical schedule that worked both for my work life and also for my preceptor, that allowed me to get all my hours in. It was like quite stressful. So even this semester, I'm like struggling, like trying to figure out how I'm gonna get everything done. But if I work day shift, I could easily work, you know, I could like do clinicals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then work Thursday, Friday, and that would be fine. Versus, and I mean, I can still do that with night shift, but there's some nights where I have to work like Sunday night, Sunday, Monday night. So then I can't go to clinical on Tuesday, and that just, I lose a day out the week of doing my clinicals. Does that make sense? Going along with that, something else that I wish I would have done differently is to have a more set schedule. So even if that meant me going weekend professional, which I basically did. I worked a lot of weekends one summer. That just allows you to just have more structure in your school life. I could go to clinicals, you know, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I could have commit to like studying on Thursdays and maybe work Friday, Saturday. But I think having like a set schedule just gives you like more structure for how to prep for the week. You know, I could just dedicate maybe Sundays to prepping for the week and planning my week out. But with my work schedule being all over the place, like working some Sundays, Mondays, Saturday, like it was just really hard for me to get ready for each week, okay? So that's something else I would have changed. Going back to the whole day shift thing, I did try going to day shift, but it just did not work out. But you know, hindsight, I would have tried harder to move to day shift, or I would have just found another job that offered a day shift position. So that is something I would have done differently. Another thing I would have done differently is to ask my professor to review each and every one of my quizzes and tests. I started doing this at the beginning of my program, and I think I just got lazy and that's why I stopped. Or honestly, I don't even know why I stopped doing that, but recently I started doing it again, well, with last semester, and it's really, really helpful. It allows you to see, you know, which areas you need to study harder, maybe why you got a certain question wrong, and how you can improve for your next quiz and test. It allows you to see what kind of questions your professor likes, and just helps you to kind of re-strategize for your next quiz or test. And also, you never know when you'll see another question again. So moving on to the things that I'm glad that I did. One was to ask a diverse group of people for preceptors. Y'all, I have a whole other video on the struggle of finding a preceptor in nurse practitioner school. It's honestly, I think, more stressful than the schooling itself. And I did everything from going into offices, cold calling offices. I joined Facebook groups and reached out there. I went to professional meetings to network. I just asked my coworkers, like, I asked everyone, and I'm so happy that I did that, because I found preceptors in the most random ways. Usually it was by just like my friends or family members, but would just get brought up somehow, and I'll ask them, I'm like, do you happen to know any, you know, family medicine doctors or nurse practitioners that would possibly take students? And you'll be surprised at who people know, and just like family friends. And so I'm just really, really thankful that I just put myself out there to ask just for recommendations for preceptors. Secondly, I'm glad that I persisted with following up with these preceptors. So don't just ask a provider once if they'll take students. Make sure you follow up with them through email, calling them. That's how I got my first 2 preceptors, was by being persistent. Now, obviously you don't want to be annoying, right? But a lot of times they'll tell you, they'll get back to you, and you know, they have busy schedules, and to be quite frank, you're not their #1 priority. So it's your job to make sure you follow up with them, let them know that you're excited and eager to learn. And that is how I landed my first 2 preceptors. Another thing that I'm really happy that I did in nurse practitioner school was to find a study buddy. That was a game changer for me. It's so hard to do graduate school by yourself, and it's really helpful to have someone to talk to on the phone, and just to study with, to do practice questions with, and to just review material, and just to ask them how they're tackling certain assignments. And just having that accountability partner, super helpful. And even I even got to a point where we were like collaborating on study guides, and that was a time saver, especially towards the end of the semester. Something else that I'm happy that I did was practice questions. Guys, find practice questions. You can find them on Quizlet. You can, I went ahead and I invested in the like boards review book early in my schooling. So that way I could use the practice questions from that. It's the, I'll put a little picture of the book that I got, but it has like hundreds of practice questions in the back of the book that it's meant for your board exams, but I use it to study for all my classes and to prepare for the test. So I'm really happy I did that. Also, I'm happy that for my Aggz, which is the objective structured clinical exam, that's whenever you basically see a mock patient and you have to interview them, assess them, and then come up with a diagnosis and plan. So those things are really nerve-wracking, but I'm really happy that I use the acronym PAM is FAM to get through my interview. So the P stands for past medical history, A, allergies, M, medications, and then I is for immunizations, S is for social history, and then FAM is literally fam history, and I usually put an S, and that also reminds me to ask about their surgical history. So the acronym, I would just scribble that down on a piece of paper they give us right before going in, and that way I knew I was very thorough in my interview and that I did not miss a thing. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Please let me know down below if you have any additional things you would have done differently in your graduate program. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.